Hello and welcome, this is Eagle Eye 621, and what you see behind me is a very simple AFK log stripper. If you like to build with naked logs, this could be the machine for you. I will point out that my very simple tree farm actually makes these strip logs by default. I'll have an iCard right now for those, but if you're converting them from your manual farm or your TNT-based farm, this could be exactly what you're looking for. I'll also at the end talk about some alternatives. I'll show you how to make it and explain why. But as I'm doing that, if you could take a moment to scroll down and make sure you are subscribed with your notifications on, really appreciate that. What you're going to need is a dropper, a bunch of hoppers, some stone blocks. These can be any solid block you want. You do need a note block with 4 chests, an observer, handful of redstone dust, and some water. You don't need the obsidian, but I do recommend it, as well as your stair. And while there are, of course, these perfect tools and weapons, you really can get away with just a regular unenchanted axe. Let's show you how to do this. Now, if you're going to build into the ground, you're going to dig down 1 to put your dropper facing up. Into that dropper, you're going to place a hopper, and on top of that, a double chest. This is your input chest. This is where all of your logs you're going to strip are going to go. And dig around a little bit just like this, so we can put an output chest. And for an output chest, we are going to want to put a hopper facing in that way, and one facing in like that, as you can see. We're also going to dig down here to make some extra and backup, which is highly recommended. And now we're going to get ready for some water. To get ready for some water, we're going to dig like this, and we're going to come back like this, just so that we can see where everything is going. And already we have our nice outline that we can put our water in. As you can see, the water falls nicely into that hole that has a hopper, which will bring an output chest, which is exactly what you are looking for. Now, we are going to put some more temporary blocks here. This is where your obsidian would go. You can put a normal block if you want. I do feel more comfortable with an obsidian. And this over here is where your stair block is going to go. And this is so that you can open this chest, but also have this block area well covered so that the items don't escape. On top of where this hopper is where your note block goes. And directly facing into that note block is your observer, and then a solid block there, which also nicely guards this water in case you're in a cold biome, so that doesn't freeze. And now we need to just hook up a little bit of the redstone dust. Now, let's turn this into a solid block, just so you can see if you're digging what we're looking for. And we're going to connect to that block just like that. So we're going to put a block down here, so we can take an output from this observer and drag it all the way down and into that block, which then will power your dropper. And believe it or not, we're actually already done. And let me show you why this works and how this works by getting some logs and the axe. Now you can put your logs in here. You can see it'll flow into the dropper, or just put them in there directly. And we're going to put a dropper in our offhand. And now let's switch over into survival mode. Now, when you place a log, you can see that we did have an activated redstone signal, which allows us to get an extra log from the dropper. But when you strip it, you don't get an output. When you remove it, you do. So what that looks like is you hold down right click, and then while you're holding down right click, you now press and hold down left click, and you will see that as the logs get mined, you get a new log and you maintain your same exact number perfectly, which is exactly what you're looking for. Now, the reason that this machine is less recommended than the one I use for my concrete converter, and the reason the water is there so this can be a concrete converter as well, because you'll see when we stop this, what has a habit of happening is some of the wood escapes around the edges of the machine. So you can either try and add more blocks to force it to go into your output hopper, or every 4 minutes or so you just need to do a lap around this, and then the rest of the logs will be in your output chest. It really is that simple. So I will make a link to my concrete converter, which you can use as a basis to make something for this. You can use this as a concrete converter as well, and you can also use this in order to have your logs stripped. Now let me make sure that I give a shout out to Dive Shark, who I will link to as well, who's the one I first saw notice that when the block is placed under this, it has an output, but not when you strip it, which is what this design is based on. So be sure to head to his channel and give him a like and subscribe, even though he hasn't posted any videos in a while. Maybe you'll convince him to come back. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate a like. If you found it interesting, maybe even tell one of your friends or your favorite Minecraft YouTuber for their world. And for more videos like this, do be sure to subscribe. Thanks for stopping by.